What's going on, everybody? My name is Justin Gaming. Welcome to episode 19 of Gaming at its Core. Today, I'm joined by Mule Kick Media,
Hey,
Josh McKenna,
what's down?
and Blue Danger.
Hey,
So, Ryan and Brandon weren't able to make it today for today's
They're
episode, so
dead.
it's just gonna be the four of us.
Dead.
Yeah, they died.
Yeah, he died.
But honestly, this week's kind of been pretty lackluster in terms of a lot of
So we'll see
news.
you next week.
you don't
Yeah, that's the end of episode 19. Um, I guess we'll just start off with what we usually start with. What has everybody been playing? Yeah, I guess we'll start with Blue. You can tell us what you've been playing this week.
I platinumed Nier Automata. Um, Love the game. I think the gameplay is really mediocre. I think the story's fucking unbelievably good. It's one of those games where it's like, it's not the best game of the year, but it'll be one of my favourites just because how much I enjoy playing it. And the platinum's a piece of piss because they give you a trophy debug menu, which is absolutely legendary. Because Yoko Tara's like, I don't know, he's like a bit of a troll, the developer. Like, he knows what he's doing, but like he loves to take the piss, and this is one of those moments where once you beat the game, you unlock the menu, and you can literally just pay for every single trophy to instantly unlock it. So I did that. I played through Oxenfree twice because it was on sale. I'd already beat it before, but I was playing through it again because I'd never done the second playthrough. And I'm currently on my third playthrough for the Platinum Trophy because that's another one that's easy, and I love that game. The way the dialogue choices intertwine, the way you can interrupt conversations pretty seamlessly. I love the visual art style, especially considering it was made in the Unity engine, which is surprisingly got that much mileage out of that engine. So yeah, I played that, and then recently I started Bloodborne, and I'm currently on the fourth boss in just a couple of hours, which goes to show how easy it is compared to like the Dark Souls games. But I've been absolutely loving it so far. The level design is fantastic. The bosses are a little bit easy, but I can understand why because it's a bit more of an accessible game, especially with the added agility compared to Dark Souls and stuff like that. So I've been loving that. And that's pretty much it. Once I beat this, I'll probably start Persona 5 or Last Guardian next. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, Josh, what about you?
I haven't played too much this week. Mainly, obviously Destiny 2 is just a bit. I've actually not played any of that. But I played Shadow of War. Played like 2 or 3 hours of that yesterday. I'm actually playing more. There's actually some nice RPG systems I'm starting to see as I'm playing more that are coming in. Still distracting seeing the microtransaction menu in there, but I guess that's never gonna go. But yeah, it's not too bad. I was only doing side missions last night, so mainly just killing enemies and picking up some treasures and all the collectibles or whatever.
Are you following this game much or not?
I think there's like 4 or 5 regions, and I'm in like the second, and the first one I spent like about 2 or 3 hours in, so I'm guessing that was more like the introductory area. So I don't think I'm too far in, but like I said, I was just doing story side missions and stuff. So just playing around with the Nemesis system. I died to. So I was in this like arena kind of area in one of the. I was trying to figure out how to do this mission, but never actually figured it out. But it was like I had to rapidly kill stealth enemies like in stealth, but for some reason I'm guessing I had to do them really quickly, so I'm probably somewhere I have to come back to. But so in this kind of like arena area in the middle, and I got killed by this just standard orc with like a crossbow, and he obviously you get like a cutscene of him him celebrating that he's killed you, and then suddenly now he is like higher ranking because of like he's been promoted because he's killed me. Yeah. So now I basically want to hunt him down because he's a prick. So yeah, it's pretty. The Nemesis system like that in itself is pretty amazing. That there's now like kind of that you want revenge against that person. That's just like it was a standard orc that you just normally would just like kill normally. Right. Wasn't a boss or anything, and then suddenly now he's on like a higher ranking on like the forces that I've got to take down to suddenly like siege not the temple, but like the palace or whatever at the end of the. Well, I'm not sure it's the end of the game, but the region. I think each region has like a temple, like a fortress. That's it. Yeah, basically filled with like these orcs, and one of now the leaders that's guarding it is this orc that was just a standard orc that killed me. So.
See, that's right, that sounds like amazing because we need more. I've said this before, but like we need more games that are like telling stories with gameplay systems, so that like storytelling is unique per person. So like your story will be different from mine when I play through the game if I have to. Or like stuff like Undertale's the same thing. You don't want to have like it's alright having like predetermined story stuff, but it's nice to have games like Papers, Please and This War of Mine and Shadow of Mordor with these systems where like everyone's story is like a bit unique in some ways. You know what I mean? So that sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely, especially how this was just a standard orc that's like completely, you should kill him because it was like because when you die on it, you kind of get like a last chance like QTE, and I saw the X button and reacted too quick, and it was actually one where this circle closes into this other circle, and then you press X, and I did it too early, and then he just shot me and killed me. That's something now. Like, and obviously there's like every time you die, every time you can like pass time, certain enemies will start attacking other ones, like in the orcs, and they'll have like mini battles. There's also chances where you can get ambushed by a random orc just out of nowhere that's on the like table essentially of orcs, and obviously killing them would then remove them off that kind of thing. So yeah, it's brilliant. And the cool thing about that is that it doesn't end when you finish the game. You can do everything, and then continue to spend time in the world, and that will still evolve and change, because there's always orcs around, kind of thing. So
yeah.
So
Dan, how about you?
I've just been basically playing a bit of Call of Duty World War II, a bit of Titanfall 2, one or two matches of FIFA, but I haven't really been playing that much because I don't know, I've been trying to lay off it recently. I know there's like this whole thing on Twitter where it's like this hashtag fix FIFA, I think it is, I don't know what it is, but basically like, I think it's where like a lot of people are like trying to like not play the game, but they're just like sitting there and they're just like still going on the web app, so it's like, well, you're kind of defeating the purpose of it, to be honest. Like, so I've been playing a lot of FIFA recently, but as you said, for new games wise, obviously I got Hidden Agenda, which is the Supermassive Games who of course did Until Dawn. They made a Hidden Agenda for the Playlink feature on PS4. I got that I think yesterday, or might have been Thursday, probably yesterday. I literally just started playing it before we started recording. I can't really say a whole lot for it because I've literally only played about 10 to 15 minutes of it. But from what I've played so far, it looks interesting. I haven't seen a lot of reviews for it, but from what I've heard, it's not that bad. But it's pretty short though, like only about 2 to 3 hours long. So yeah, that's all I've really been playing. But I probably can see myself beating that game probably over this weekend, probably tomorrow. But yeah, that's pretty much it for what I've been playing this week.
Alright. For me, I've got to be very honest, I have not played a lot this week. I'm just, like, this has been probably the busiest week for me at school. But in terms of gaming, well, actually, I guess I'll get into this a bit later on, because we're going to be talking about the Black Friday stuff, but I got some new equipment, I guess you could say, and I've just been testing that out, playing some old games. So I was replaying Uncharted 4. I'm like halfway through the game right now. Just checking out how it looks on my new monitor and stuff. And other than that, I've just been playing a bit more of Call of Duty World War II.
So 1080 monitor, or is it 4K?
4K monitor.
Nice.
But I mean, you can't tell the difference, right? Well, I don't have a PS4 Pro, so can you really tell the difference?
I mean, if it's got HDR, I guess it's that, maybe.
Yeah, but isn't HDR only for PS4 Pro as well?
Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah, sorry, yeah. My bad. Sorry, I was thinking like, no, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it still looks really good because I've never played on a monitor before. Like, I've always been playing on my TV, and we were actually talking a bit about this before we started the recording. So whenever I play it on TV, I'm probably sitting like 15 to 20 feet back from the TV. And just now playing on a monitor where I'm like sitting not even, like maybe like 3 or 4 feet away from it, it's really cool, like seeing all the details and everything. So it just seems like a big improvement in everything. It's really good. So yeah, anyways, I guess we'll move on to the Black Friday deals and purchases. Guys, did you get anything for Black Friday? I don't know if Black Friday is as big for you guys in the UK.
I only got Hidden Agenda. That was pretty much it for Black Friday, or for all I got for gaming.
Okay. Blue, Josh, did you get anything?
I haven't bought anything from specifically a sale, but I ordered a Switch, a Nintendo Switch, with no games. And that's that. No, but I should be getting that next month because it's actually I could have got the grey one, but I wanted the neon red and blue one because I thought it looked better. So I thought I might as well wait a month for that, and I thought I'd be able to get Zelda and Mario around the same time. So yeah, it wasn't like I said, it wasn't on sale. It was pretty much an impulse buy. But yeah.
So they're shipping it to you, right? They're shipping it to you.
Yeah.
So when do you think you're gonna get it by? Like next week?
They said on the product page it was 22nd of December, but on the actual like order details page they said that they'll be delivered by the 21st. So
Okay.
it'll be around like the 20th of December.
Yeah.
So,
All right. That's cool. And you get it in time for Christmas.
I guess I'll try and play enough of Zelda or Mario and see if that's worthy of anything Game of the Year. Which, to be fair, everything else I played this year I wouldn't consider Game of the Year worthy. So.
Not Horizon? You don't like Horizon?
Well, see, Horizon's more like,
Game
nah.
of the Year.
Yeah, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do like an overrated Game of the Year that's like a game that I, don't
I
really
don't understand. When I see videos of Horizon on YouTube, I see people in the comments are like, "This is hands down the best game of the generation. It nails
Yeah, I
every."
would call it a masterpiece.
they're like-
just like, what are you doing?
They're like, it nails everything from the story, the visuals, and the gameplay. And I'm just like, what? What are you saying? Calm
I
down.
remember Colin Moriarty. Colin Moriarty says it's the second best PlayStation exclusive ever made. I was like, what?
Was this
Yeah.
the first?
Yeah, he said it was the best one this generation.
Oh, PlayStation.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I feel like anything that I mean, I personally say Uncharted 4 would be my favorite, but then that's more of a favorite. And I think if you're like new to the platform, you want like a new IP to start yourself off. You don't want to get the fourth game in the series because I mean, even while Uncharted 4 still a good game, I don't think it's as good if you're new to the series kind of thing. So I would recommend something like Horizon or Ratchet and Clank, but saying Horizon's like that go-to game that you should get, like, or like it's the best of the generation, it's like, what?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how one minute people are complaining that, we have too many open world games. Next minute, hands down, Horizon Zero Dawn's best game of this generation. It's like, what?
Yeah.
I hate the fact that they say hands down too. It's like, yeah, there's no competition at all. It has to
Yeah,
be that
but what
one.
isn't better than that? No, not at all. Bloodborne shit compared to Horizon Zero Dawn. Yes. Best narrative, Alloy. Yeah.
Alloy.
Alloy.
James' famous phrase, Alloy.
Yeah, physics ruined the game.
Yeah.
Oh god. Anyways, Blue, did you get anything for Black Friday or no?
I got a few Nintendo games. The Wii U store has a few deals on for really cheap. The Virtual Console games were on sale, so I got Link to the Past for £2.50 and Mario World for £2.50, and that was pretty much it. Because I'll be funny, the PSN store sales were a bit shit. The only one I was really asked in was Bloodborne for £12, but I already have Bloodborne, so what's the point?
I think it's like Witcher 3 both expansions for like 13.
It's all the games I've already got, so it's not a bad sale for people who haven't got those games, but for someone who has, it's not really good for me. I think last week's sale was better with like Oxenfree and Valiant Hearts and stuff for like $3.99 and stuff like that, but yeah, it was really just those two games. I didn't buy anything physical, I would have, but the thing is Christmas isn't like a month and I'll give people like ideas of what games I want for Christmas, so I might go and buy like Resident Evil 7 and someone gets me Resident Evil 7 for Christmas, that's going to be a bit fucking awkward. And plus I'm trying to save money because Monster Hunter comes out in January and Ni no Kuni.
Yeah, and you need to get the most expensive collector's editions for both of them.
Oh dude, there's like six AAA games and like 4 indie games that are coming out in the first month, 2 months next year that I'm 100% buying.
Oh shit.
So I need to start fucking saving money because I've got nothing. So no, I didn't buy it. Much.
I actually need to save up some money too because I spent like $400 this fall. So
I wasted all my money on that PC. Like I spent £950. I could have bought so many games, but now I buy a PC for.
yeah, I mean, okay, I'll get into what I've got for Black Friday. So I actually got quite a lot, and I'm really happy with what I ended up getting. So first off, like I already said earlier, I got a new monitor. So it's a Asus 28-inch 4K monitor, which is really awesome. I just hooked up my PS4 to it, started playing on it, and as I said, it's really awesome to see all the details and everything like that. I also got a Razer keyboard, which is another $80. Got that. I got a Razer mouse, which is another $60, and I also got a Logitech webcam for $60 as well. And I'm planning to get a new PC, which is going to be at least another like 1,300 or something like that, which is crazy. And I also need to get an Elgato. It's on sale now anyway, so I'm probably gonna get that.
Where are you getting all this money from, Justin?
Well, I'm not my parents are helping me right now, and I'm gonna pay them back over time.
Are you doing a Tommy Wiseau and pouring leather jacket so you can get all this money?
What?
I just don't understand how you're making all this money to buy all this shit.
I mean, no, like, I haven't, like, the games I bought in the fall, I all paid for by myself. The games I bought in the fall, I bought myself. The monitor, my mom bought it for me. Keyboard and mouse and webcam, my mom bought it for me. And
so basically, your parents.
no, but I'm paying them back. I'm paying them back.
Did you buy anything, Justin, from Black Friday? Did you specifically buy anything? That was the question.
I'm buy the Elgato myself.
Oh,
Did your mom buy anything for you?
What?
me.
Yeah, for Black Friday, did you? You know, considering we're moving off the topic of what our mom's bought for us, but Black Friday.
Oh, God. No, nothing. Nah, my Black Friday was like the most boring, or like seriously, all I got was Hidden Agenda and 3 Blu-rays, that was it. Nothing else, and that was all my own money.
No, but because like my mom or like my parents, they bought my sister like a new computer as well. They got her a MacBook Pro or something. So I get a new computer as well, and I want a desktop computer. So I get like $2,000 to pick whatever I want. So I spent like 600 so far.
God's sake.
So I have 1,400 left for my computer.
Can your parents just lend me £1,500? Considering there's someone making all this money on the fly.
I mean, to be fair, I'm gonna be using it for like plenty of things too. So like YouTube, school, and gaming. So. But yeah, anyways, that's pretty much it for me. I guess we can move on to some news of the week. There's honestly not much, as I said earlier. We'll start off with, yeah, I mean, this week has been pretty much filled with Star Wars Battlefront 2, like just the kind of like the climax of that. And also like Black Friday deals and shit.
Well, I'll stop now.
Josh, you wanna tell us about the next topic?
Yeah, it actually kind of relates into microtransactions somewhat.
Again.
Yes. So basically, it was discovered, I think, sometime like earlier this week, like at the beginning of the week, that D2 actually gives like I would call it a soft cap, but it's more like a hard cap. To be fair, it's pretty brutal. It gives you like a cap on how much XP you can earn, and basically, just give me a minute.
The fuck?
It's alright. Alright, intermission.
Are you trying to find this? Are you trying to find it now for us?
So basically this cap was like, someone, I can't remember the exact specifics as such, but I know that if you say complete like events or activities that would give you a lot of XP in a short time, so public events you can like zone into one area, complete a public event, teleport to another area, do that public event, and if you did those really quickly, the game would actually like stop giving you as much XP. The number that it would show you, the number that shows how much XP you get doesn't change. So say if an enemy will give you like 60 XP with a ×3 boost, it would still say it would give you that 60 XP, but someone discovered that it could actually drop to as far as giving you 96% less than it should, and the bar would only go up say 4% of that. So say if you got 100 XP, you'd only actually earn 4 XP for it. And I didn't think anything would be done about it, and I was kind of like, if this is a design intention, that's awful, because when you get to level 20, every time you fill up the bar, you unlock, you get Bright Engram, which is basically their microtransaction loot box system. So the way it seems is that they've done it, if it was a design intention, which it was, it seems as if they've done it as a way to sort of try and get you to spend more money because of how long it took. Eventually, you know, like I did notice that the first half of the bar seemed to fill up quicker than the second half. So like, you know, like you end up doing activities for longer than you should. And then they put out, so Bungie then put out a statement about it and said that what they're doing is they said that they took away the system immediately. And I think if the design intention was for the system, which it seems like it was, it's done simply because of what's happened with EA recently, and Activision are probably a little bit scared that if they suddenly get called that they're doing a similar thing of like pretty much half forcing you to pay, then they'd get shit from it as well. You know, and the fact that microtransactions is such a big sort of topic right now that probably won't go down too well. So yeah, they deactivated the system. I think that, I mean, the way they worded it, they didn't really give a reason for it, but the way I'm assuming that supposedly how they designed it was that, say, if you were completely repeating the same things over and over again, they're easy, it's too easy, and you know, especially if you exploit anything, then it would lower the chances of that being too exploitative. But if you're in longer activities like the raid or competitive crucial or trials or whatever, it would actually apparently scale up the XP you get, so you would end up getting more from that, but the number again wouldn't change. Now I don't know if that's true. I think it might be, because I do feel like the raid gives more XP. But yeah, basically the system is that you would, for completing quicker and easier activities, you would get less XP, but the number wouldn't change. But for completing more difficult and staying longer inside the hard activity, you would get more XP. But then again, the number wouldn't change. And there's no indication in the game that this is happening. So you're completely blind and you have no idea what's going on until this person obviously started to dig into the math sort of thing. They noticed that like a simple event in the world could actually knock it down to, like, I think they said 50%. So, and this is just a simple event that's basically got rewards hardly any XP that apparently it happened with. So yeah, it's
That was a very long ramble.
it was, I mean, yeah, basically it seems that they've created a system that could be related to them wanting you to spend more money because of it scaling down the amount of XP you get.
Yeah.
They didn't give a reason for it, but I'm assuming that their reasoning would be that they're trying to prevent you from exploiting anything, or if you do something really easy, then you should really be rewarded with more XP. But again, it's the fact that the issue comes is that it's tied directly to like the microtransactions. That's like the sort of the issue that would, you know, arise with it. So it's basically that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Does anybody want to add on to what Josh said?
Oh,
or no?
I will say that I think more people would be more pissed off about it because, especially with D2 at the moment, the developers have been very quiet, which is just the thing for Bungie, and also the stream setup for the expansion have been pretty shit. So yeah, I don't think that's really helped in the midst of all of it. So yeah, what were you saying then?
Yeah, I was just going to say that with all this news, it just makes me even more depressed with how much you play Destiny 2 now. You can't play a game, encouraging microtransactions and limits player XP unlocks. God, you disappoint me even more, Josh. You disappoint me.
Hey, EA have been doing it for longer, and you've been playing FIFA for longer, so
Yeah, but I have not spent
we're gonna start this, you know.
I have not spent any FIFA points on FIFA for 3 years. I have not supported EA in any additional way other than buying their game.
I bought the expansions for D2 or for D1 and D2.
Exactly, so you have no authority here. You have
Yeah,
no
but at least that's
authority.
content. Like,
No authority.
that's content.
No authority.
Like, it's cut content from the base game. It's better. It's fine.
The Journey has a better story than Destiny. Facts.
I could potentially believe that, you know. That's how bad that is.
It's true. Oh god, no. You just disappoint me even more, Josh. Just snap your disc, please. Just snap your disc, video it, put it on YouTube, and get yourself 5 million views.
That's
Wait,
how
that was snap his disc. I didn't know disc.
Oh god. No, I think you should snap your disc with Destiny. I've done that with every copy of FIFA when the new one comes out. I snap the old disc.
Really?
Yeah, I did it for FIFA 17. I've got the video of it.
Surely you're shooting yourself in the foot though if the new one's shit. Or shitter.
Yeah, but why would I want to play a piece of shit when Nah. It's just like if I leave it there, the piece of shit will then just gather.
Well, would you prefer the better piece of shit or the worst piece of shit? You know, like, if we're going really.
Why don't we buy good games, not FIFA?
Well, that's,
So you're trying to say Hidden Gems is not a good game, Blue, even though you haven't played it?
Oh, the app game with your
Sage.
trophy for quick time events. It's all
Sage, Shadow of War's not a
Mate,
good game.
do not prejudge games, Blue. You don't do that. It's mean. It's prejudice. You never know, this might be the next 10 out of 10 cinematic game. It could be the
Cinematic.
defining app game of the year. It might even be the best game of the year. I mean, fucking hell, everyone says Horizon is.
Is it the best PlayStation exclusive?
Yes.
Of this
I'd
generation,
like
and hands down the second best game on PlayStation.
in
Yeah.
history of 4 consoles, Horizon.
No, when you play it like that, it just makes it seem even worse.
It's laughable, isn't it? Horizon's the best exclusive of 2 decades worth of PlayStation consoles. What?
We're just gonna shit on Horizon, aren't we? And then it's gonna end up winning Game of the Year, and then we'll just sit here. It'll sit here, and we'll just have to get. Yeah, it's gonna win every category. We're just gonna sit here doing a whole podcast of just ranting about how overrated Horizon is.
Well, that'll happen when the VGA is going to the Game of the Year. Like,
Oh,
I'm sorry, if it gives it to PUBG, we're complaining. If it gives it to Horizon, we're complaining. Anything else, it's probably alright, you know.
yeah.
Nier Automata got absolutely robbed at those awards. Absolutely robbed.
Fun times.
I just, like, something that I find funny is that, I mean, I haven't played Nier, so I don't know how much it innovates and such, but, like, you can see just by the art style and how it looks. To me, like, Horizon just looks like, and what it is, it's just another open world game, but Nier looks like, not, I haven't seen many games that look like Nier. Nier's just weird, but
Yeah,
still,
so weird.
yeah,
It's really,
yeah.
really weird.
yeah, it just looks, like, weird, but it looks different at the same time. And yeah, Horizon, what it is and what it looks like, it's just like, what? Like, and then Horizon's a very bad game, it's like, really?
Yeah.
I also think, yeah, the story's good in Horizon. Like,
Yeah, the story in Nier is fucking amazing.
oh,
Is he still alive?
Yeah, I'm here.
That's good to know. It's good to know.
So, should we move on to the next topic, or?
Yeah.
Alright. Belgium trying to ban microtransactions.
Oh, it makes me even more upset that we left the EU.
well, actually, apparently, someone told me that we don't officially leave until 2019 or
Yeah,
next
we
year.
don't. No.
So, if this comes in anytime soon, then maybe.
Fingers crossed.
Well, as long as we don't get removed or deprived of content and such, because I know content is usually like we're talking with most microtransactions, it's quote content, but you know, and plus it's government, so you don't know how far they're gonna go.
God. Yeah. What else were you going to say about? Were you going to say anything else about the Belgian banning microtransactions?
Me or
Well, whoever came up with the fucking news topic, because I wasn't even paying attention to. Oh,
what is the host with the most? It's just
the host of the most.
Huh? What?
Roll game topic.
Shut up. Shut up, FIFA casual.
Oh,
I'd rather be a casual than a copycat.
I'm not though. I'm not.
At least I'm being original.
I'm not though.
I mean, you play
More
FIFA, and
original.
I play Destiny, so debatable.
Is Blue like the only one here that's?
I was about to say you're all casuals.
Well, Blue's a scouse, so
And I love to say, and I love like to say that Blue sucks off all games that he can, and then just hates them.
That's true.
God. But I'll just say this about the microtransactions, you know, being banned. I do think this is a step in the right direction. I mean, I hope it happens here in the UK. I just love to see all my friends' reactions to it, because I know friends who just like obsess over microtransactions, and if it just ends up being banned, I don't even know how they'd be able to survive. I honestly think they'd probably just kill themselves because they wouldn't know what to do. Because it's like, it's one of those things where I think more people do it, but I don't think they own up to it because they know how bad it is. So if this ends up like being a proper thing and then games end up having it taken out, I dread to think how the fuck EA and Activision are going to survive without microtransactions in their games. Like, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do.
the EU, from what I know, is definitely a large area from like where they get a lot of their revenue from.
Yeah.
Like, losing that is I mean, it's not like it's gonna prevent them from making games. You know?
But it's really gonna hamper the development because you think about it, you're gonna have to change the whole way you're gonna market it because it's like you got all these systems where you can buy it, but then when it's EU, it's like, oh shit, we've got to take out this. We've got to find a way for the play. Because I reckon for some games it'll probably be more complicated than you actually think. Like I know that'll probably end up being the case for some developers. I bet it'll be like Activision. They'll just be like, or EA, and they'll just be like, you know what, we're just not going to release the games in Europe. Fuck everyone in Europe. I would not be surprised if they turned around and said that. It would not surprise me.
I'd be happy if they actually put an effort and were like, oh yeah, we're changing the progression systems and like how you earn these things in the EU. And I'm like, cool. That means I get like a new feature that is EU exclusive. You know?
Maybe you could actually make a decent game for once.
Yeah. But.
Now, I can't really say that because I like Titanfall 2, so I take that statement back.
But then that doesn't have microtransactions, from what I know. Well, it does.
It's the only game that doesn't have microtransactions and fucking bombs in sales. Everything else is like, does well.
EA wanted to make a statement. They were like, we'll release it right at Battlefield 1 so that we can just pretend that microtransactions really help our games and make them better.
God. Has anybody here actually brought Battlefront 2? I just want to know.
No, why the
I
fuck
got a
would
review
I buy
copy
it?
of it, so I haven't paid for it, but I have it. So.
Oh, Josh.
I'm telling you,
Send
I'm
it
never
back.
buying a Star Wars
Send it
game.
back. Send it back. I don't, just send it back and say, I don't order shit. Please just fuck off.
Well, I missed the delivery with someone next door neighbour had it, so I'm guessing they were trying to get in on the like, stop me from playing it, and then they must have changed their mind, I remember that.
Oh god. He probably just gave it to you because he knew how shit it was, and was like, you know what, let's make it stuffy.
I don't want to trash it, man.
Oh god. No, I've not played it, but a friend of mine unfortunately had his dad buy it for him, and he didn't want the game, so we had to like produce the most fakest smile ever from what he told me. He played it, and I think within the first 2 hours he actually did. I think he literally gave it away for free because nobody wanted it, so he literally just dropped it off at somebody's door and ran off because he hated the game that much.
I actually told my dad not to buy it for me.
Yeah, I did the same.
I went downstairs and I was like, look, if you're thinking about getting it, just don't. I said, I might get a review copy of it. If I do, cool. But if not, oh well.
Yeah,
It looks like a genuinely bad game. Like, not even. It looks terrible. Like, it's just. What the fuck is good about it? I haven't seen anyone say it. I just don't understand it. I played the beta and they're going to play fucking piss. So, on a core, even the game. So when we talk about Destiny, how the feel of the game kind of carries the rest of it. We can't even talk about that. We've all forgotten the feels like shit. And everything else I've seen, apparently the story's a joke. Like,
isn't it like only 6 hours long?
It's
It's-
5
I don't
hours.
think it's the
I think
length.
it's
I think
5
it's just
hours.
the whole thing. It's just shit.
Well, I
And
mean,
what I've seen, like, I think because they advertised the whole thing about destroying the rebellion, and then by the end of the third mission, you join the rebellion.
Yeah, I read
Complete
that,
mismarketing. Oh god. And then like I've seen all the glitches as well with like your teammates just fucking walking off out of the mission area.
Apparently the woman who's being advertised as like the main character is only in it for half of it, and he plays other people for the rest.
Yeah, that's what I heard as well. And all these like journalists are like, oh, she's the new face of Star Wars. And it's like, well, how can she be the new face when she's only in half of the fucking game? Like, I don't like all the cameos as well. Seeing on walkthroughs, they look just so forced. Like, why?
Yeah, that game looks genuinely terrible.
Yeah. I told my dad not to buy it, but then he turned around to me and he said, "Oh, don't worry, I've already heard the game's shit." Because he's a massive Star Wars fan, and he hates the original, like the Battlefront from 2 years ago. And then he saw like the reviews for the new one. He literally just turned around to me after I said, "Please don't buy it." He's like, "Oh, don't worry, son, I understand." And he doesn't even play games, but he just knows that it's shit.
he wept a little tear as he said that. We will go another Battlefront game with
Yeah.
with Antis.
Yeah, I'm convinced he was actually dying on the inside saying
You
that.
walked out of the room and you just like burst out into tears.
He probably did, knowing him. Oh god.
My cousin bought the game.
God's sake, Justin.
You're probably shit box, you know that.
Yo, I told him not to buy. I'm like, don't buy it, don't buy it. He's like, no, it looks so good.
It looks what?
To be fair though, he is quite young and he doesn't know about microtransactions and all that. So.
The fucking
That
teacher
is
all
the
that all the things
problem,
smack the
EA.
fuck out.
Do you see what you're doing, EA?
I tried explaining it to him and he's just like, nah, you get to fly around in like the Star Wars ship.
You should have actually slapped him when he said that. Just get a grip.
It's like, don't buy into EA's bullshit.
Oh god.
Oh man. Yeah, that's funny.
Oh god.
I mean, like, I know, like, a lot of us should expect that kind of thing from EA, but it just doesn't really, like, so, like, even though we're like, oh, well, it's EA, you should expect it, but it's like, the first wasn't very good, and they go in this one, they're like, no season pass, it's like, well, space battles, still everything you want from the original, but
I
whatever.
remember reading that because he never included that there was going to be microtransactions in the post. He said that there was going to be a story mode, there was no season pass and all this. He never once mentioned microtransactions.
I mean, even though the game's not great, like, as I said before, it's like, just imagine if they released the game like EA or people with no microtransactions and free content after launch. It'd be a statement. Like, it would be, and for more people, it'd be surprising from EA, but...
And the sad thing is, it wouldn't have been 10 years ago. Because EA actually made proper shit games up until like 2007.
when Mirror's Edge came out.
Yeah, the Crisis came out 2007. Mirror's Edge was 2000.
Oh yeah, because Blizzard Crisis fanboy just let everyone know that.
I'm not a fan. I love Crisis 1.
Oh yeah, you fanboy though. You fanboy of Crisis.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the Crisis video. What's going on with that one?
Yeah. Well, where is it? Where is it? Come on. Confess. Where is it?
I'm pretty sure the
It's never coming out.
shit down.
Crytek.
No, there's teams in Crytek. So the people. What I'm talking about, not Crytek the studio. I mean Crytek, like the team who's working there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was about to say like.
No, because the people at Crytek now are working on a few VR games. They worked on Robinson's Chain, and now they're working on some shitty rock climbing VR game for like Vive, I think.
Oh, Mighty Fall.
Yeah, and they're working on something else as well. So yeah, the Crisis IP is dead. It's dead, which is such a shame. But you can't do it on the world. Mirror's Edge is fucking well dead as well. Mirror's Edge is in a grave right next to it.
They're not doing
So
Mirror's
is Dead
Edge.
Space. So is fuck me.
It's just a shame to see like the best franchises sort of just sort of filter out.
And even that, like those franchises, even themselves, like weren't that good. Like I like Crisis. It's not the best fucking shooter in the world. What's more disappointing is that they could have been better. So like the original Dead Space was a good game. It wasn't like amazing, and it could have been better, but it wasn't. And it wasn't strictly for money. It was like Uncharted. Dead Space 2 was like Uncharted in space, and then Dead Space 3 was a mess, just an awesome mess. And then Mirror's Edge, it was like Mirror's Edge 1 had like a lot of innovative techniques. They used the colour shading level design that Naughty Dog used. The moment-to-moment gameplay was great. The level design was great. It had a load of shit in it. It's not that good of a game. And then they could have improved it, but what did they do? They made it an open world again for money and fucked it up. So now it's dead. Crisis.
It sold like shit. It sold like shit too.
I think Crisis was really their most consistent series last generation. Even that in itself had a lot of issues, especially with the way set pieces were integrated. And Crisis 3 was about 5 hours long.
Yeah, Crisis 3, man.
It was really shit. Crisis 2 was a disappointment as well. Crisis 1 was really the best. And then after that, it's so sad because EA made crap games and made no money. And then they had that phase between like 2007 and 2013 where they were making like, I don't want to say innovative games, but
They were like different. They were different to what
they were different, yeah, because like, I don't want to say completely innovative. Mirror's Edge was innovative. Dead Space was pretty much completely inspired by Resident Evil 4. But they were making different types of games to like Need for Speed and FIFA, what they've been making for like a decade. And then now they just reverted back to their old model where they're not making any new IPs, they're milking Star Wars.
But
I just like 15 FIFA games. Well, 17 FIFA games. No, there's gonna be 18 FIFA games. Sorry, lost count. Can we just talk about that? 18 FIFA games. 18.
No, FIFA's been going since like what?
Oh shit, no, it was 96, wasn't it? What?
Yeah.
Oh, 96, 97. You talk, I'll count it.
Yeah, because it's been going on for longer than before 2000. I know that.
23. Jesus Christ.
And the worst part is, FIFA 96 is probably more fun to play than all of the modern day FIFAs just because of how shit it is.
I had 99. That game didn't start. It was so broken. So bad.
I've always felt like they should just release FIFA as like a, I guess it should just be called FIFA, and then like every year they update it, and I don't know how they would get money from
Remember
it.
they made FIFA Street? They tried to change FIFA and then thought, nah, fuck it, we're gonna go back to FIFA again. No, it weren't that made the World Cup game. It was
Yeah, they did do a FIFA Street in 2012, I want to say. Yeah, it was like they released it like midway through, but it like sold really poorly.
yeah.
Because like they just chose the wrong time to release. Like, I will admit it was different and it was enjoyable. But yeah,
But it was FIFA in like cages, that's what it was.
Yeah, like it's just. I understand where they're trying to go with it, but I think they just picked the wrong time to release it to make it a success. That's what I'd say.
No, I've just always felt like FIFA is a decent game. You could just release, like I said, just one game
Yeah.
every year. And the thing is, the amount I think they make from like $650 million a year from microtransactions on the Ultimate Team.
800.
So,
Now,
oh, it's 800, is it?
Yep, it's double $800 million, whatever you want to equate that to pounds.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much, it's still fucking something like large amount of money.
crazy.
And like, that's more than what was given to Bungie to make Destiny. Like, I don't know if that's just D1 or if that's just, and what I'm saying is if that's the entire franchise of Destiny, that's for the entire Destiny franchise, they were given 500 million, and yet Ultimate Team makes 300 million more than that in a year.
Purely off microtransactions, get
Exactly.
bear in mind that the FIFA 17 sold 11 million copies, I think.
And like, and that's why it's like there I was like thinking, oh, like how are they gonna make money? I'm like, well, they should just like update it every year, just like add Ultimate Team, just they'd make money off that. I know it's not like the greatest scheme to like only make money off that, but it'd just be better, you know, for the consumers, if you will, because I'm sure there are a fair amount of people that actually play it without paying money for microtransactions. I mean, you do, Dan, so you know.
What? What are you trying to say?
I'm saying you play it, but you don't pay money, or like you haven't in a while. So my point is that they would still make money from the people that do,
Well, yeah.
and they probably make more money actually because they wouldn't have to. People wouldn't be so bothered about buying the next one because they wouldn't have to buy another one. But it's
Yeah,
EA,
well,
so.
Well, I'm thinking about next year. Probably not going to pre-order the game. I'd rather just probably go ahead and just get a pre-owned version. To be
Hell
perfectly
yes. Fuck for that.
honest. I just can't be bothered. Like, because I got the massive discount off the Ronaldo edition.
Yeah.
But then, like, just playing it again this year, I'm like, do you know what? I'm actually getting fucking tired of this series to the point where it's just like I can't be bothered. Just pay full price.
I've kind of had that issue with Call of Duty, honestly. Like, I seem to have a point. Like, I used to play a lot
I'm
of
surprised you didn't get it like a few years ago with Call of Duty.
No, I did. I got it. I think around it was like Black Ops 3. It might have been. Which one was before Black Ops 3? Was it Ghosts?
No.
Advanced Warfare.
Advanced Warfare, yeah, no. Advanced Warfare, I think I played more than I did Black Ops 3, but each one I've kind of played progressively less on. And
Yeah, that's happened for me since Black Ops 1, to be perfectly honest.
yeah, I think, because Black Ops 1 and 2 had zombies, so that was much more like, I had a lot of people that I played that with. But like, I've just had this, like, I enjoy the game, like, the campaigns are, you know, they're not amazing. I do like World War 2 a lot because, I'm a fan of the setting, so, but like, I've just had this thing, like, every year I've kind of like got to, like, say, level 30, 40, and that's it, stopped. And like, I enjoy the multiplayer, I think it's good, but there's nothing that drives me to play it. Even it has got like a better reward system for like supply drops or whatever, like doesn't engage me as much. I don't know. I want to play more of it, but whether I will or not is a different story.
Maybe you should play Black Ops 3 again, so you can play that amazing campaign with that amazing story.
Oh yes, that masterpiece.
Hey, when I explained the plot twist to Joel, well, fucking hell.
To Joel?
Josh, fucking hell. I've clearly been sniffing cocaine today. Jesus Christ. No, when I explained to you the twist, Josh, you even admitted that the story was a bit better. Did you not say there was
No, I genuinely did not realise that there was that much depth, or I'd say depth. I still don't think I'm...
triggering Blue so much by saying
No, to be fair, what I said was, I still don't think the story is great, but it has a lot more to it than I
Yeah.
actually originally
I
realized.
think I don't think it gets. I think honestly, I think people just shit on it for the fact that they don't understand what's going on. It's kind of the same.
It's because
problem.
it's not very well explained. I think that's Treyarch's style, is that they don't give it to you at face value. They're just like, not face value, like they
I
don't
don't
give you up
understand
front.
what's going
It's
on.
just, yeah, like I mean that's pretty much the. I think I wrote my review for it. Is that the story is just like just a lot of mindfucks.
No, and that's the thing. Right, I don't like. I get what you're trying to say with the plot, but people try and say that to me with Bioshock Infinite. I'm sorry, but if I have to go on Google to look up what the fuck a story's about, it's not a good story. Like, there's a difference between. I know what you're saying about.
You don't have to look it up though. Blue. It's literally right in front of you. If you go on the opening level screen of every mission on the game, it literally lists down the whole story. And like, if you go through the game, you do see the hints for it. Like, I think I figured it out at the end of my second playthrough, because what I did was I paused at the start, because I remember there was a thing in the game, and it's like this hidden code thing, and it says the level loading screen. So I looked at that and I was like, I don't understand what that means. So I went to the level loading screen, slowed them down, and then that's when I found it out. And yeah, it is one of those things that you do have to look up for, but it's not like you have to look up the whole thing. All you need to look up is look at the opening level loading screen, and then that's it, and you can literally figure out the rest of the story from there. And I like these kind of things. I like the things where you have to actually search for what's going on, because like, I don't know what it is, but like, I feel like too many stories these days are just trying to go through the generic path of, oh, you go through the story, you get towards the end of the third act, oh no, there's a plot twist. Like, I liked that at least this game tried to change it up. Like, for me, this campaign doesn't get anywhere near as much like attention, because like, I think the wrong thing they chose was to make it co-op. If they hadn't made the campaign co-op, I guarantee you people would have worked out the story far quicker. But because they promote this co-op thing, everyone's playing it, and they don't give a shit about the story, which is the complaint I have with the campaign, is I don't understand why they put such a complicated story into a campaign that's designed for co-op. Like, that's the only thing I have with it, but I think for that same reason, that's why people don't like it, because they just go into it thinking, oh, it's co-op, it's not meant to have a good story. Like, I don't know, it's just, I just don't think it gets the appreciation that it deserves. That's all I'm going to say.
Right, I understand what you're saying by that, but I'm sorry, as someone who's been playing games for many years and likes complexity built into stories, built into gameplay systems and shit like that, if I don't understand Black Ops 3 story, it's not because I'm like an idiot, it's because I don't understand it. I'm sorry, but even if I were to understand the story right, let's say I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I didn't play it twice, I played it once, all the way through. I'll give you the benefit
Did you play it by yourself, or did you play it with friends?
by myself. So if I was to look up the stories, let's say for argument's sake, for whatever reason, even though I highly doubt it, I can guarantee once I look into it, I'll hate it even more. If I understand the story, does that make it good, or is it still a mess of pacing? Is it still a mess of narration? Is it still a mess of general storytelling, or is it because it tries to build something complex and you can eventually understand it?
Yeah.
If you try, because my problem is, and this is the same problem I have with Bioshock Infinite, is that both games are really stories where you've got to distinguish what's more important between a game that's trying to make you use your mind or a game that's trying to blow your mind. There's a very big difference between the games that fall into the latter half and the former are generally the better games. Like Bioshock 1 is significantly better, not because it's got a complex story just for that sake, it's because it's a game that makes you think about the story, and when you think about it, you like it more. The more I think about Bioshock Infinite, the more I think about Black Ops 3, the less I like it, because it was one of those games where it's like, holy shit, revolutionary, like here's a plot twist, and it's just this needlessly obtuse storyline.
No.
For what purpose, though? Is my
I would honestly disagree with that, because the thing is with Black Ops 3, the whole game is about the misuse of technology and how technology has essentially corrupted the world, the future. And the plot twist, in my opinion, it relates to that. It relates to the fact that everything you see on that first playthrough doesn't make sense. Basically the same way as the technology and how that's evolved, and the fact that it can glitch out, it's got a mind of its own, and we don't fully understand that. You're not meant to fully understand the story on your first playthrough, that's the whole thing. Because when I finished it the first time, like, I hated the campaign, I thought it was awful, and like, I thought there was stuff in that genuinely didn't make sense. But the game does that on purpose, and I've even seen in interviews with, I'm pretty sure I saw one with one of the people who actually wrote the story, and they said it on purpose, that it was a story on purpose that they wrote, where the player would have to play it multiple, like the second time, to understand what was going on, because they wanted to relate it to the overall theme of not understanding, and it was this sense of confusion. Like, it's weird to explain, but when you look at the plot twist, it just changed, because like all the stuff that I hate about the campaign, like why did the missions feel so weird? Why did I not know what I was doing throughout any of the missions, or was told what was happening? Like all that kind of stuff. When you find out what the twist is, you realize that that was done on purpose, because it's meant to make essentially the themes of the story carry over with the whole lingering sense of what am I doing, why am I here? Like all those things are answered like that, and I just thought the way that they did it was just so ingenious. Like, and like going back to what you said with Bioshock Infinite, I admit I think that's a really poor plot twist, because the way that they try to describe all these alternate timelines and how Booker in one timeline becomes Comstock and in another timeline he doesn't, and essentially it's like a different version of himself. They explain that really poorly, in my opinion. Like that's the thing that I hate about those kind of plot twists, is that the writers need to find a way to explain that in a way that doesn't feel like it's holding you with expedition to the point where it's like you're getting bored to death and it makes no sense, or they tell you no information at all, and you end up having to read theses online about how it's even possible for this kind of shit to happen. Whereas with Black Ops 3's twist, I feel like it was a good twist because it made sense in the themes of what themes of the game were, what they were setting up. I'm not saying it's perfect, there are still problems with it, and it's by no means a perfect story. I would still say it's easily the worst Black Ops story out of the first three, without a shadow of a doubt. But I definitely do not think it's a bad story. I think it lies somewhere in between the region of ambitious and possibly like maybe just starting to get to the edges of great. I just think there are some plot points that I felt like could have been explained a bit better, and some stuff that I think it's left too far up to the imagination. Like I think it's probably because of one of those things that I'm one of those people who's seen a lot of weird films where it's like all this meta kind of stuff. So that's probably why it appeals to me more than it does to others. Like I know you probably might not feel the same way, because it's something that's too complicated that makes you think too much, and I know there's people out there that don't like that kind of stuff, but I don't know, just for me, I personally find that side of it really interesting, because it actually makes me think. It requires you to actually go ahead and find stuff out for yourself. It gives you that sense of, in a way, discovery, and I just enjoy that so much about the story. Yeah, again, I'm gonna say again, it's not great, but I just appreciated that a story was actually doing something different for once, rather than just doing the same thing.
Right, I appreciate. Alright, it's obviously it's your opinion. You can, if you like, that's great. More power to you and stuff. But like what you just said about that interview completely proves what I'm trying to say. Is that if the story writers have genuinely gone out their way to develop a story that you don't understand on your first time through, and you have to play the game again, that says to me that they were trying to make a game that's trying to blow your mind, to make you think about it. Because any good story should be completely understood in full on your first time through. It's what Nier Automata does. There's 5 different technically don't play through the game full in 5 times. What it does is it makes you play through the game once, and then which is about 12 hours, and then it makes you play through the game again as the second character. And what's so good about it is you now have the context to understand some of the plot holes in the first storyline. So what every good story like this that makes you think does is when you beat the initial game first time, you understand the story in full, what it was trying to say, the underlying themes, the things like that. And then the second time you go through it, you have a greater understanding of those themes, of those concepts, of the story beats, and then you appreciate the story much more, because you have greater context to understand it. The first time through, it's a bit confusing and stuff like that. But once you think about, you don't have to. My thing is, you don't have to play through Bioshock 1 again to understand its story beats. Whereas with Black Ops 3, as you just said there, the developers made the story where you do have to play through it a second time.
You understand what's going on. But I would say, when you're playing the game the first time, I would say you understand probably about most of what's going on. The only questions that you have regarding the story are really what your goals are for why you're there. Like I said, I'm trying my best to explain this without spoiling it, because there are videos out there that I think explain it really well. it's not overcomplicated. It's not the most complicated plot I've ever seen in my lifetime.
No, I played Metal Gear, but I was about to say that the biggest thing we have to go back to with all this, with this bullshit it's completely overcomplicated because it's COD. This isn't Metal Gear. If this was Metal Gear, I'd completely understand. It's Japanese, it's quirky, it's all about its storytelling. COD's a mainstream FPS. It shouldn't be. I know there's a difference between having ambition and having intention. Like, there's a massive distinguishing factor. Bioshock's complex because it's made for gamers. It's not complex because it's made for a mainstream audience, which is why I appreciate Black Ops 3's story a lot less, because although I appreciate the ambition and you were trying to go for these complex underlying themes, the progressive relationship between humans and machines and stuff like that, I understand that, but you're trying to appeal to a mainstream audience. So when you go in that dangerous territory of having a complex plot, not only will you alienate your audience, you're just going to completely pull them out of the experience, because the average gamer won't give a fuck to go on YouTube and watch a 40-minute explanation video on something they should understand in full clarity on the first time through, because it's COD. It's not, COD can have good stories, but it doesn't need to be like Metal Gear to be a good story. It's why I think Modern Warfare 1 is the best story out of any COD game, because it was simple, easy to understand, but it was well done, because it was the story that was told was engaging, and the real quality was in the writing. And that's why I think any good story, when you play it through a second time, you have a greater context to the writing. It's like why that plot twist in Bioshock 1 completely works, because when you play it a second time through, you're like, oh, I didn't understand this the first time through, but having seen the plot twist, having thought about the story after the initial playthrough, I now understand that that's actually laughably really good. I can't spoil it, it's one of the best plot twists in history. Whereas with COD, it's been designed to play through twice, and the average gamer who is the intended audience for this franchise is not going to do that or understand it or give a fuck to. And then you throw in the fact that the missions have been designed with co-op in mind, then you've just got a shitty mission structure, and the fact that the story isn't that good to where you could put up with that, I think the whole thing's just a mess. It's like Nier Automa's gameplay's not that good, but the story's good enough to where you want to push through and you want to see the end of it. With COD, I can't say the same. So not only have you alienated your casual mainstream audience by going for a complex narrative and a complex story structure, you're also throwing them off because the mission structure's shit, and the gameplay's never exactly been solid in COD. I mean, the gunplay's okay. So I hate the Black Ops 3. I understand what you're trying to say. I understand you like it and stuff. But
yeah, I'm not one of those people. I'm not trying to say it's like the greatest.
No, I know. It's just you're trying to say.
I'm just saying that I think people just don't really. When they criticise the story, I just feel like most of the time it's people that didn't actually try to follow it. Because most of my friends who when I say, oh, Black Ops 3 was awful, and I ask them like, oh, did you play the campaign for it? And they're like, oh yeah, I played 1 or 2, 3 missions with my friends. And it's like they even admit to themselves that they simply don't care about the story, which it's fine. I understand, like, casual COD audiences don't give a fuck about the story. But I just think from a perspective of me actually watching it unfold, I just appreciate it a bit more. Like, it's still got a lot of problems with it, and yeah, I'm just gonna leave it to the better videos out there to explain it, because I'm just gonna say this now. They're not fucking 40 minutes long. They're like 15. It's not that complicated. It's not. I mean, this is fucking COD we're talking about. You can't make a 40-minute fucking analysis video of COD unless you like stretch the whole thing out. Like, it's not that much. It's literally just one plot twist that eventually, when you find that out, it slowly
changes your perspective.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what Bioshock Infinite did, I think, because it ends with that twist that then you can play through the game again, and everything's kind of, you look at things differently. I don't necessarily think it requires a second playthrough, but because you could notice it on the first playthrough, you could pick up things, but I don't think it's clear until the end, and then if you want to take that knowledge and then everything you know and then do it, then that's what you do have to go through it again. And yeah, I mean, I didn't find out until about a couple of weeks ago
when I told
through Dan. So, and I think in a way it's cool, but at the same time it's like it's not very well explained. That is the. Because I mean, I don't think I mean, like, the fact that the game you are called player, that's your name. I think that's partly because it's a co-op game, but like, I think the problem is it's not very well explained as a whole. And it is hidden, which is cool, but then when the actual base storyline and throughout it that you are meant to understand all that actually goes on is kind of bland. It doesn't really, and I think that's the thing people have the issue with. It's like when people say the story's bad, it's because they don't realise about the twist, and while the twist doesn't radically change the entire game,
without that twist, the story I would say is a lot more worse off because it's not bland. It is bland.
Because you have no idea what's going on. It's kind of like the ideas are cool, but yet none of it makes sense. So because none of it makes sense, it's basically bad, And
well, that's my thing. You can't build if a story can't be good if the beginning, middle, and end isn't good, and if the whole story relies on a plot twist, which Bioshock Infinite Bioshock 1 actually doesn't. Even it just has a plot twist to fill in the context, to give your actions context and meaning. Black Ops doesn't really have that. As you just said, it doesn't make sense up until a plot twist. And to me, that's terrible storytelling, because if I'm thinking what the fuck's going on, oh, let me just have this plot twist explain everything, which Bioshock 1 doesn't do, then that to me it's a fucking mess. And I could get into this argument all day about Infinite. Like, Infinite is a mess of storytelling, but I mean.
See, I mean, like, I didn't replay Infinite, but the moment I finished it, I looked it up online, and that wasn't because I didn't understand it, it's because I wanted to know more context behind it, which I think is I think Infinite's twist is cool because it changed my perspective on every time it referred to Comstock, I was like, oh, that's me, kind of thing. But at the same time, I get your point about it being kind of, I don't know, I don't mind Infinite's twist as much, but.
Yeah, I thought the story was fine up until that twist. Like, I just think the way that they explained it was just so poorly done. Like, you compare it to the first Bioshock with how they revealed that. It was such an ingenious way that they did it. And then it's almost like they just were going through Infinite's twist, and they're like, alright, let's just do something quote-unquote clever.
I think the things are messed from the get-go.
I don't think so that much, because I found the initial concept of you going to... Oh, fuck, I don't remember what the place is called. Columbia, yeah. The premise of you originally going to there, and the whole world itself, and you going through it, and you go through it with Elizabeth to find her and rescue her. That part for me was interesting, and I liked the story going the way through, because just exploring the world and just seeing what it has to offer. It was just for me in that third act when they revealed that twist, that for me was when it really went downhill. Like, the first two acts I didn't think was that bad. They weren't, like, amazing or anything, but it definitely can be interested in it. I love how Justin's just sitting here just listening to it talk about it.
Just hasn't played any of these.
Nah, I mean, I played Black Ops 3.
3?
Weren't you talking about Black Ops 3 and Bioshock?
Yeah.
Oh, you could.
I'm talking, yeah, I played the campaign.
Did you actually understand the story?
Nope, and then after I finished, I was like, alright, fuck you, I don't give a shit about this, yeah.
You disappoint me, Justin. I thought you were gonna back up my claim here.
Nah, dude, I did not like Black Ops 3's campaign.
It's fucking awful.
I was just like, and I didn't play it with co-op, I played it by myself, and I was just like, at the end of every...
but the thing is, I haven't told Blue what the fucking plot twist is.
Like, I had to force myself to play it. I don't
want to spoil it for you. I'd rather you go watch a video that will explain it better than I can.
It spoiled it for me. Wait, hold it. Or was that Dan?
No, I think that was the other Dan who spoiled it for you. I was the one who said that the plot twist, like, would change your perspective on the story, and then Dan was the one who just went ahead and spoiled the whole thing anyway.
Who, Dan Games?
Dan Games, yeah.
Dan, Hot Sauce Games. That was his nickname, by the way.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know, I just felt like...
Have we actually got any other topics to talk about?
Yeah, we do.
The podcast goes.
We actually do have other stuff to talk about. Do we need to talk about NPD sales, or we could just quickly talk about some PSX predictions and we'll close it up?
I feel like we might as well leave PSX predictions till next week, just because we've spoken for a while already. Might as well just go on to NPD.
We spoke for like fucking half an hour.
We spoke about half an hour.
I did not think going into this podcast we would be talking for half an hour on Call of Duty. And not just any Call of Duty game, a Call of Duty game from fucking 2 years ago. Jesus Christ. What is this podcast become?
It's
We were
casual.
talking
It's
about Bioshock Infinite would be here for like 2 hours. I've got so much shit I need to get off my chest.
Let's start then. Make it a 3 hour. We'll pat this one out even longer.
Just give it a 4 out. Just give it a 4 out of 10. Just for the sakes of true.
Infinite's a 5, Black Ops 3. Oh.
Give it a 5.1. Give it a 5.1.
5.1.
Maybe 4.9.
4.9.
Do you guys still want to talk about NPD sales or?
NPD sales.
What, the Nintendo Switch raping everything in sales? No,
Oh yeah, that's. I'm pretty sure everyone already knows that. But...
PS4 getting its ass cleaned out by the Nintendo.
It's been out for like years though, so.
Yeah, that is true, but still Nintendo.
And they released the pointless PS4 Pro, so yeah.
Yeah, but Nintendo's coming off the back of their worst selling console ever.
Oh, no,
So PS4 6 months after like 7. So just
I think that.
Nintendo are back. Bitches.
No, I'm glad that like.
I'm pretty sure the SNES Mini was the best selling hardware of last month.
Oh god.
I do think it's good that Nintendo are doing as well as they're doing, because I mean like hearing it's Bethesda, but like hearing them bring in like Skyrim and like all the other games, Doom, and then eventually Wolfenstein 2, like they're bringing them to, and like Bethesda isn't small. The fact that they're doing that is impressive. I mean, then again, they want Skyrim on everything. Like Skyrim's gonna be on your mobile device within a year.
I genuinely don't hate the game more than Skyrim. I hate Skyrim more than any game like ever.
Well, I mean, I think it's cool that they're bringing it to everything else, and I don't mind Skyrim so much, but like, just make a fucking new game. Like, I mean, like that. I know they said that they're probably supposedly working on something, but like, they've even said a while ago that it's like it's a while out. And it's like, but why though? Like, I know Skyrim is critically acclaimed by a lot of places, but just I want a new game because I want them to try and fix their combat and make it a bit more interesting than just like just tap.
Just fix the whole game.
You gotta admit, like,
We're
the
just hating on the
world
whole
isn't too bad. Like, I think the world and the
But
environment is nice.
right, but the world's good in a sense because it's only to an extent because it's not designed around like a dotted line like The Witches. But if you actually look at the actual world design, it's actually just a set of paths. If you really look at it, I mean,
I like it.
it's like a multi-layered set of paths. It's kind of like Destiny, but just not as blatant. I don't know why I'm talking about Skyrim. It's got fuck all to do with anything.
Why are we talking about an overrated game?
We're talking about such random games. Shooting us with Black Ops 3, Bioshock Infinite, and Skyrim. None of the topics are about these games.
And none of these games are great.
I mean, if you didn't know we were planning the podcast already, it's not talking about Uncharted. Let's go. Right, that's Uncharted. Which one is it?
Uncharted 3.
We'll plan it out next week by asking Brandon and Ryan what they think as well. You know?
Rank the Uncharted games back to front.
Oh god.
What's your favourite feature Uncharted game?
Oh, fuck.
Fight for fortune.
That even had expansions, like, believe it or not.
What?
It had like I think it had 2 expansion packs. I'm pretty sure it was Uncharted 2 and 3. Like, they launched it with like Uncharted 1 and the Golden Mist cards, and then they expanded it with 2 and 3
Oh,
as separate packs for like £4 each, I think. I just bought it when it was on sale for like £3 and everything together. Because I was like, I played it for about 15 minutes. It's not bad. It's got some cards in it. It's Uncharted, so. Anyone played an Uncharted board game here?
No.
Uncharted board game.
Ryan has.
Alright, Ryan. Yeah, Ryan, what you got?
I bet he would give it a 10 out of 10. Best Uncharted game ever.
We should do that. We'll have a live gaming at its core where we play the board game. Ryan will handle everything. He'll just get the camera. Show the
You're
board
gonna
game.
stream Ryan's camera through your own stream, so it's gonna be like watching like 2 or 3 streams essentially.
Yeah,
Sure.
sure.
Yeah, sure.
It'd be fun.
Any details on
Is there anything else we can talk about?
Ghost bullshit about Bloodborne.
We'll save the PSX stuff for next week then. While we have everybody, we can talk about the panels, our predictions, even though they're not even having a legit conference.
Yeah, but did you see the list I put in one of the Discord chats about the shit they've got? Like, there's like 100 studios there.
Yeah, I know.
See, that's what I think at North Star there, and I don't get why. I mean, yeah, I suppose they've got their panel about Uncharted.
They've got the Uncharted panel.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know, I mean, their conference obviously isn't going to be, it's not even going to be a proper conference for all we know, but I want to know if they're going to, because, like, if they showed any Last of Us gameplay, one, it would seem weird because of what we've just had, but also, considering the scale of this supposed conference they're doing, it would also seem weird, so I still think it's possible, though.
It's possible, but I feel like they're going to save gameplay for E3.
I reckon if Sony like turned the shouting tone to fuck all PSX, they could have a bomb of a fucking next E3 come out and announce Bloodborne 2, and it would like fucking some Tomb Raider shit. Jesus Christ.
Nah, bro, they're gonna end with The Last of Us gameplay. Watch.
Oh yeah, oh shit, yeah, end with that.
They're gonna start with Ghost of Tsushima gameplay.
I couldn't find anywhere that stated it, but Random was apparently saying that Crystal Dynamics or someone from whoever's working on Shadow of the Tomb Raider, someone either at Crystal Dynamics or Square Enix, apparently they're meant to be announcing it before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Well, maybe VGAs don't want it.
I'm telling
Well,
you.
that's the thing. Will it though? I mean, it depends.
Yeah. No. They said they did.
Yeah.
I know it was a while back. They said they weren't showing it off at E3, but they're gonna show it off sometime later on in the year.
Yep.
The only place left is really the Game Awards.
Yeah, okay, which that's out.
I think
Years
the Game
exclusivity
Awards is
to
more
PS.
fitting. Cause it's
And plus, Jeff said there's going to be more announcements at VGA. Said,
yeah, and that'd be a
I'm
pretty big announcement.
I'm looking more forward to
the VGAs.
VGAs than I am PSX.
Are we all just looking forward to it more
That's
just because we want to see what Jeff Keel's going to say to Kojima? Or about Horizon Zero Dawn? He's going to say, is the game that changed my life?
He'll propose to Kojima. That's what will happen.
No, he's gonna read out the award for best performance. He's gonna be like, Ashley, who plays Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn.
If Horizon wins more than like 2 or 3 awards, I will.
If Horizon wins any awards, I will
Yeah,
start watching straight away. Go and put me on the.
You know what? It's my birthday, so they better not fucking fuck it up. Like, you know. I'll fight.
Jeff Keel just says into like, happy birthday, Josh, bitch. Fucking little finger up to the camera, just start walking like, yeah.
Oh man.
VGAs are going to be funny. PSX, I'll enjoy it because it's indies and VR. One of my hate it because PSX 2016 was like one of my favorite conferences ever.
It was just something that you laughed through constantly. It was just
so good. And then this year it's going to be just. I mean, it's going to be indies and VR, which is great for me. But like, what are the indies going to be? Most of the good indies have already came out this year. I don't think Giant Sparrow have got their third game ready yet. That game company's working on a mobile game. Like, all the good indies are already out.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I just can't wait for it. I reckon it's just going to be something that I'm just going to...
It's in like 2 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
literally the Samurai Cop of like video game awards. Just so bad, they're amazing.
What time? Isn't there?
Yeah, that could be.
4 in the morning, is that PSX or VGAs?
Neither. Oh, PSX.
PSX it is.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, I forgot about
PSX. I think PSX is like at 11 for me, which is really
that.
late.
Sure, VGA. I think it's like 6 or 7 or something for us.
Awesome. Yeah.
Six.
Or it might be midnight, I don't know.
Wait, which one?
VGAs.
VGAs? I think it's 9 o'clock for me.
It might be 2 AM, yeah. How to watch.
How am I supposed to scream when PUBG wins if it's 2 in the morning?
Oh, we got the air times. London, 1:30 AM. No.
What about music they're going to have? Because they always have a...
Yeah, they have a live performance.
They had Doom music last year as well as some of the rap stuff.
Yeah, and then they had the what's it called? Those guys that sang what's that freaking thing called? You know that thing where everybody the mannequin challenge. Those guys, the music from that.
Slick Hydrobot.
Oh
Oh,
god.
for God's sakes.
Amazing.
8 million registered losers. I'm honestly looking forward to Chromecat's video more than either of these events. Because it was sort of... Right, I think we've padded the podcast long enough now.
Yeah. I mean, it's shorter than usual, but it's still a solid an hour and 15 minutes of random talking
No,
about
no,
nonsense.
15 minutes. Can't we do it in an hour? Come on. What can we talk about for another 15 minutes?
Bruh.
Let's just review what we did last week. What are you looking forward to in 2018?
Let 2018 come. 2018 is gonna be an amazing year. It's gonna be a great year.
What?
Is there any game that you're worried about for 2018?
Days Gone.
God of War.
You're worried about
Same.
God of War?
It's the most anticipated game and the one I'm most worried for at the same time.
Really?
But I said the same.
I mean, I don't care. I haven't even played God of War. I'll play it all. I'll play all through the series before it's out. But like, everyone's claiming that it's gonna be like the game of the generation, and it's not out yet.
What?
And it's going from a gameplay centric series to like The Last of Us and God of War.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching rewatching the trailer the other day, and I was thinking like, this gameplay looks terrible. Like the actual gameplay, like it's literally like a Naughty Dog game.
It does. As soon as when I was first watching that, I couldn't help but think of The Last of Us. It just looks, the way it's done is very Last of Us. Like, I think even the music is like very kind of low key.
Yeah, I was
That's the only game
it's hard for games to take influence from The Last of Us. I mean, The Last of Us is amazing, but why is God of War taking influence from The Last of Us?
I hope it's that they just want it, because like, I think the God of War games, they've had decent stories, but like, I feel like maybe they're just trying to push the story more, but that doesn't, because you think Uncharted 4 didn't really show, I suppose they had the set piece they showed off, but overall they didn't show too many action heavy sequences, from what I remember. So, and overall Uncharted 4 is a very slow paced game, bar a few sections, and I still think it's the best of them all, so. But then God of War is completely different, it's like even more fast paced.
Completely gameplay centric, basically.
Yeah, and just with how fast paced the gameplay was as well.
I mean, I was watching. Remember we got the boss battle at E3 2016, and it was basically just Kratos like eating his legs.
Yeah,
Like, it wasn't even like a proper boss battle.
that was the thing that worried me about that demo. Like, because I understand they want to do something different, by having it not as reliant on the gameplay, I'll say, and more of an impact on the story. But I just feel like I hope it doesn't lose
What God of War is.
Yeah, what God of War is. It's the fact it's about those boss battles, Because I think in my opinion, God of War easily has some of my favorite boss battles. Like they got some really really good ones in there, just really really good. Just from a challenge aspect, but also just from a gameplay point of view as well. Like, so I just hope they don't lose that, because I really like the series for its boss battles and just the gameplay in general. Like, sure, the story is amazing, but just the gameplay it's just so fun to play.
That's what I mean. I mean, I haven't played them yet. I'll be playing them all, but like hack and slash games are just like dead. Like they are dead. Devil May Cry is dead.
Yeah.
This is dead.
Well, actually, there might be a DMC5. Rumours are that it will be announced at PSX. Or
Yeah, but weren't that an announcement, rumor when Capcom said they were working on one game that was supposed to make 4 million, sell 4 million copies, and it was between Monster Hunter, Devil May Cry, and 2 other things, and that's before Monster Hunter got announced.
yeah, it might be.
But I don't know, maybe they're still working on DMC. I don't know. But I don't know.
Although I want to see it put to Ninja Theory, if I'm honest, but because I think that was underrated. Because his hair is different.
Justin, are you worried about Days Gone? Did you say?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know.
Like you said, that video that's got like God knows how many dislikes.
Yo, imagine, if this gun gets under an 80 on Metacritic, which I think it will. I think it's gonna be high 70. That's what I think. I think it's gonna finish with like a 77 or something like that. And watch.
And then Justin's gonna be like, "I told you so."
Yeah, I told you so. I said it. No, dude, there have been but like I remember, I forgot where I saw it, but it said like some people that have like journalists that have played it earlier said it plays like really poorly.
You might want to take that video down where you said your perspective's completely changed. You know, sure, take that one, pretend it doesn't.
Yeah, people are gonna be like, oh yeah, but I thought you were excited now.
I'm just going back on your original video, just looking at it. You've got like the 341 likes, 593 dislikes.
Yeah, you might just. I'm imagining if it does turn out to be like a 77, people would lose their minds. That's like one of the big exclusives. Getting what's considered a low score.
It'd basically be the equivalent of what Xbox fanboys had with Quantum Break when that game got like a 77 on Metacritic, and then they're all like defending the game, like saying, "Oh no, it's a masterpiece," and then in reality, it's like no.
I can remember when they first showed gameplay of that, and I was just like, everyone's going like, oh, it looks amazing. I'm like, it just looks like a simple cover shooter with some interesting time warping teleporting things.
Yeah,
And I was like,
it's the same thing with Days Gone. Like that's the thing. I think it's just going to end up being a Quantum Break where
I don't
Yeah.
see. I don't
more
see.
interesting.
I think. Well, I think nowadays you just have to. Like a big part of the blame just goes to like the casual. If it's zombies, then it gets an insane amount of hype. Like if you look at the comments, if you look at the comments in that video that I made, half of them will be telling me to shut the fuck up. I'm like a dumb cunt or something like that, and then the other half is like, oh no, it's zombies. It'll never fail. Like zombies, hype, zombies. And I'm just like why? I really don't get it. It's not like they're like, oh yeah, the gameplay demo we saw blew me away. And I'm just like, how? It just looks like really standard. Like there's nothing crazy about it.
people tend to like say a game they're hyped for something, but they don't give any reason or any actual decent reasons if they do give a reason. Like for that, they're just like, oh, I'm hyped for this, and I'm like, yeah, but why? And they're like, oh, it looks cool. It's like, in what way? Like, does
This
it?
is the thing. It's like it's everything that's like boring about games. It's another
Yeah.
Dead Rising. It looks like it plays
I
with,
know.
like a rough Uncharted in an open world, and it's a cover shooter.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about how bland that sounds and the voice acting? Has anyone ever watched Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life?
Yeah.
Has anyone ever watched it? Go and watch the video.
That's the comparison you
The
make.
narrator sounds the exact same.
He actually does now that I think
Swear
about
down.
it. Oh god, I won't be able to watch that ever again now. The same
Playing
way.
the game thinking, oh my god, where's Shrek?
Shrek is the final boss.
Final.
Oh my god.
That's actually, I mean, not right to that, but like the word hype in itself. I was saying to Brandon a while ago that I have an issue with it because every time I hear that someone says that they're hyped for something, I assume that they're already overhyping it.
Yeah,
Well,
I think you
because
mentioned
it's
this
like-
on stream in one of our episodes.
Yeah, because like, you know, like it's just like, I mean, like they could be wrong, but like think about the games that people hype up. Just like look at them. Are they these indie games? No. Are they these games that actually innovate? No. It's like Call of Duty, Destiny, FIFA, Walking Dead,
Horizon.
mainstream things. Horizon, like it just overall it's generally mainstream, and it's like hardly ever anything that you kind of, you know, if someone said, "Oh, I'm hyped for Stifled," I'd be like, "Thank you." So that's an interesting one because like I've never heard anyone say it, and I guarantee no one will have said that.
I
Obviously.
think people are like starting to like. It feels like hype's just replaced the word excited. Like it's
Yeah.
literally.
I never say I always like whenever I talk about something, I'm like, oh, I'm excited for that because
Because
like.
excited sounds a little bit more like, you know, tempered expectation. It's like hype. No offense to obviously Robin, he's already saying that like God of War and Red Dead is games he's so hyped for those games, and it's like, dude, if they come out and they don't meet your lofty expectations, or you think they do even though they're not that good, you've ruined the game for yourself because it's like just go in. You can, like I am ridiculously excited for Monster Hunter. I don't think Monster Hunter is going to be this masterpiece because I'm not going in with any expectations because I want to have fun with the game, but I can still be excited. You know, I'm still excited for Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm not going to go in thinking it's going to be a good or bad game. I'll just go in and play the game and see what it's like then. I'll just be excited to play the game. And then from that point onwards, I'll just see what the game's like to judge it, whether or not, you know what I mean? And when people say like the hype, it's like, right, you're just going to ruin that game for yourself, well done. Or you're going to give it credit that it doesn't deserve, like people did with Bioshock Infinite. Just like,
Another shot at Bioshock.
fuck Bioshock. But yeah. And Red Dead 2 is another one. I'm worried on Red Dead 2. No one seems to be worried because it's Red Dead. And it's like Rockstar aren't immune to making bad games. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad game, I'm just saying, it's, you know, people saying the hype's for it. It's like, alright, calm down. Wait until it's
We
out.
need to see
It's
more of
Rockstar.
that game. Jesus, it's like We've only seen. They always hype it up, and then we get like a 1-minute trailer.
This
but
basically
do-
feels like a set piece.
Like the thing is, it's like Rockstar. I mean, you saw it from the moment they could just put out like a screenshot and like that'll be it. It'll be viral within like
Yeah, I know.
an hour.
I
I
know.
want to see them do that. I want to see them just want it, just on the like GTA 6, they just put out the screenshot and release the game like a week later. See what happens, see how much it sells and stuff.
Well, keep in mind with GTA Online, I'm pretty sure they only announced the online. That's right, GTA 5. They didn't announce like the online like a few weeks before it. Like it was. I know it's the online, and that's like not the main part of it.
Yeah, and then they announced the online was playable for 2 weeks until after launch because they wanted people to play the story. I
I
remember
feel like Uncharted 4 should have done that, honestly, but that's another story. But
There's another 10 minutes onto the podcast, right?
that's 4:15 actually. That was.
Yeah, we're at 127. 127.
No, okay, we got 3 more minutes then.
I think it's what to say.
Wait, Dan, what games are you worried about? I mean, you're supposed to say God of
Yeah, I'd probably say God of War, like I said earlier. I'd probably also say Days Gone.
No one worried about Detroit.
I don't care if it's Detroit.
Am I the only person who actually cares for that game?
I'm looking
Yes.
forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
For God's sake. Like, the thing is that I'm not going into Detroit expecting it to be like the game of the generation, and that's the thing. Like, I know there are people there who like think, oh, it's going to be this amazing game. I think it has the potential to be a very good game, but I think it's just like a lot like what people say. I just think with the reputation of David Cage in the gaming industry, it's like you don't really want to be setting your expectations too high. Like, I think it's going to be one of those games where I think if you turn your brain off, the story will be good. But when you actually think about it, you'll be like, actually, this kind of doesn't make sense. Because I just don't think he's learned from that. I mean, he certainly held in with Beyond Two Souls. Like, Jesus
He
Christ.
bombed it with that game.
Yeah, that's what has me worried for it, is that game. But from what he's said in interviews, apparently, and I'm going to say that keyword, apparently, he's not going to be making the same kind of story. So, hopefully if he doesn't, it could actually be good. But I wouldn't exactly say that I'm worried for it. I would also say Red Dead as well. I'm slightly worried for it, only because I was a bit disappointed with the trailer that they showed off.
But that's because I think that's more because they set up this hype for like 3 days and it's like,
Exactly, hype again.
Yeah, but
Those
the thing
games
was,
and trailers.
I didn't buy into any
No
of
Man's
that.
Sky?
I didn't really buy into any of that though, because like I just went into it just going into it being interested in seeing what they'd show off, and I didn't know what it was, but there was something about the trailer that just didn't really catch me. It didn't really make me go, oh damn, this seems really interesting. And I don't know whether that's because it's early development or they don't want to show off too much, but I just felt from what they showed, it just wasn't. I don't know. I just don't think it was that great.
I don't want to sound pessimistic, but I'm actually worried about Spider-Man a bit as well. Like, with the QCs and the
because
fucking...
of that facial animation.
Oh, good God, that looks awful. There's just the facial on it. It looks like a limp version of the Batman combat, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
It really does look like a really weak version of that. And the Batman combat's flawed in itself, so that's not a good sign.
What?
Excuse me?
No, flawed in itself, I don't think bad. It's, you know, it had its issues, it could have improved and stuff.
Not really. Not really. Come on.
Yeah, it could have. It could have telegraphed moves better.
Telegraph moves better.
They were using...
That's not Charlton reference, Blue. Come on, you're not.
No, they were telegraphing moves terrible. They used colour coding and it made it so easy, the game sucked. I'm not going to get into Batman because that's just going to pad it for another hour.
But that was because it was supposed to be originally a rhythmic game. It was supposed to be a rhythmic game where you tap into the beats of the... That's why it's like that.
But it devolves into a button masher rather than anything substantial.
Not really, because it's dependent on how you play it. It is dependent entirely on how the player wants to go into those situations. If you want it to be button mashing, where it's quick time events of you just constantly pressing triangle and square, you can. Or you can change it up to the point where you're not constantly pressing the same 2 buttons. So for me, that makes sense, but it's dependent on the player and their playstyle. So I can understand why it could be conceived as that, but for me, because of how I play Batman Arkham games, I don't personally see it as that. That's like saying that, whenever you have a combat section in the game, like for example Uncharted, you're just constantly pressing the R2 gun to fire at someone, or you're holding L2 to aim, and you're using those same buttons, but it's not like you're pressing the same two. That for me is a quick time event when you're pressing a limited set of buttons, preferably about 2 to 3 or 4, over and over again, and it's like constantly doing that over and over again. If that's the case, and just pressing any button within a quick span of time is classed as a quick time event, then surely everything you are doing in every game ever is a quick time event, and that's what I don't get. Exactly.
Running a GTA.
So like with the Arkham combat, it's designed in a way where yes, it can be conceivably called a quick time event, but it is entirely dependent on how you actually go ahead and you go through with the combat. That's just the way that I look at it, because I don't play it just constantly pressing the two same buttons over and over again. I try to vary it up so that because otherwise it would feel boring because you're just doing the same thing. But like, I don't want to talk about it loads because I don't want to pad out this podcast by another 2 hours, because I could easily do that talking about the Arkham games.
Well, I was about to say, you can make that argument with any game about how. Make that with literally any game ever, but my thing is the combat's fine in the combat challenge rooms where you have to use different buttons, but in the base game you don't. You can, I mean, it's a button masher because you can beat the game easily button mashing. It's a preferred method of play. If you want to do more than that, you don't have to. You're really overcomplicating things to certain enemy types and stuff that changes. I'm not going to go into it. I think the combat was flawed. And Spider-Man, what I'm saying is it's flawed. It's not bad. It's still a good combat system. But it was flawed and it needed to improve and stuff. And Spider-Man looks like it's just a limper version of that. And not to mention the quick time events, not to mention the facial animation quality. We don't know anything about the open. It's an open world game. We don't know if it's like a Ubisoft game. We don't know if it's like a Witcher game. We don't know if it's its own thing. If it's like Spider-Man 2, don't know anything about that. All we know is that villain, what's his name? The black and white, the Asian guy. I don't even know his name.
Oh, Mr. Negative?
Mr. Negative, he's in about, I've seen multiple.
Shut up! Why is yo, frick you and Jaden, every time that guy comes on screen, it's like, oh yeah, it's Justin, because it's a freaking Asian guy.
He looks like he's in like 15 different settings of the game. It's like, is he the main villain? Because apparently, but I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot. It's mostly Western AAA games I'm worried about. I'm like, fucking want Japan. Monster Hunter looks fine. Nintendo games generally look fine. It just really seems like Sony's exclusives are what I'm worried about. But I don't know. I'm not a games designer. I'll wait and see. There's another 8 minutes.
So something I was going to say about Detroit, so we're going on for a bit longer actually.
Right, here's another 8 minutes.
I mean, like, the main thing I want to say is about Detroit is that, like, I think it looks cool, but I don't want to spend, like, 50 quid on it. Like, if it was like the price of Hidden Agenda, then maybe.
Yeah, that's because you don't want to pay full price because the story sucks, the rest of the game sucks because there's no game.
Like, that's the thing, like, if it was a full game that I can actually play, like, you know, actually, I mean, like, I think it falls into the same, it should be sold as, like, a Hidden Agenda kind of game. Like, that's what it is. It's like a game that I think, especially with, like, a group of friends, could be, you know, more fun. Like, it's a couch co-op game kind of thing. Or like a cheap TV series, or cheap, it costs more, but that's my issue with it. It's just like, I'm not interested in it, one, because of, like, what it is, but also just because I'm just, yeah. If it was cheaper, maybe I'd consider it, but, yeah. That's 2 minutes, just, you know. Anyone else want to fire a 2 minute opinion?
Nah. That's pretty much.
Considering it's barely spoken.
That's pretty much it, honestly.
So, Justin, what games have you been playing this week?
Didn't I answer this?
No idea, honestly.
We've just spent an hour and 40 minutes talking about absolutely fuck all. What an amazing podcast episode this has been.
Yeah. I guess this is a good time to end it then, right? Right, we stretched it to 1 hour and 35 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
No, now you only go to 2 hours because it's so long.
Oh god. Alright, I'm gonna conclude it here. So everybody still listening, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Gaming at its Core. It was a bit random, but yeah, we didn't really have too many news topics to talk about. So for next week's episode, I guess just leave some questions down below in the comments and we can answer, because we didn't really have any questions this time around. But yeah, hopefully we'll have more next week. Next week's gonna be good. We're gonna have the full cast probably again. We're gonna be talking about PSX. probably a bit more about the Game Awards, stuff like that. But yeah, with that being said, we hope you enjoyed. Thanks a lot for listening, and we'll see you next week on Gaming at its Core. Goodbye.